up, YouTube? tpeach. So, if you didn't already know, I have insomnia. So what I usually do, since right now at this moment we don't have cable, is, I go on YouTube. So I found this guy, his name is tpeach, and I was looking at one of his videos. It was about, like, black women, Asian men type of thing, and I watched his videos, and it was like kind of like a series. So I watched all of them because I had nothing else to do, and it was really good. He's very insightful, even though he curses a lot, which is, if you live in America and you lived in America for more than 20 minutes, you're gonna hear people cursing. But I was watching some of his videos, and I was watching the video where he talked about where his name came from, tpeach, because Tenchi is a Japanese name, and he's Korean. But he was talking about how, when he was younger, he felt ashamed of being Korean, and he, had this he used a Japanese name and said that he was mixed with Korean and Japanese, and blah blah blah. And so I found that really interesting. That kind of struck a chord with me, because it just sent me all the way back to my really little childhood. And I remember, I think we were living in Texas at that point, which means I couldn't have been no older than 4. I probably wasn't even that old. We were in a Kmart or something, and I was, just looking around and at all the posters of the happy white people hanging from the ceiling, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I wish I was white. And my mom was like, no, my baby, no. She was just like, no, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? But it's just because everything around me, everything in the media, everything is white people, And at that point in time, being a little kid, you don't understand, well, why are we different? Why do I not see the same representation of us as I see of them all around? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? What's wrong with us? Is there something wrong with us? We don't have to accept the European standard of beauty, because when I was a little kid, I, in a class of mostly white kids in elementary school, and I look around and, I noticed my lips, because some little girl said I had big lips or something. I was like, what? No, I don't. What are you talking about? I never heard anybody say, your lips are really big, to me, I'm looking at the other kids, the white kids' lips and stuff like that, and I'm like, my lips are big. They are. And I would look in the mirror and turn to the side and see how my mouth pokes out or whatever, and I was like, wow, God, my lips are big. Wow, dang. And I was kind of ashamed of my lips, you know what I'm saying? And then now I think about it, and it's okay, why should I be ashamed of something that makes me me, that makes me black, that makes me who I am, you know what I'm saying? When you think about it, the white women who are seen as being so beautiful and so desirable and all of that stuff are women who possess ethnic or exotic qualities, features, for example, Angelina Jolie. Her lips are really big, and that's an ethnic feature, you know what I'm saying? And so it makes her look exotic, and it's, ooh, she's got, big full lips, and ooh, she's exotic, you know what I'm saying? But it's because it's on a white face. In actuality, her lips are probably not really any bigger than mine, but it's normal for a black woman to have thicker. I just call myself a woman. For a black woman to have thicker, more full lips, and it's not as normal for a white woman to have something like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, okay, why should I be ashamed of something that other people are paying money to get their butt fat shoved in their lips so they can look like me? If you think about it, whenever any woman, not even just white women, black women, Hispanic women, most women, any woman puts on her eyeliner, she normally extends it a little bit this way and that way. I don't do it because I'm allergic and I can't wear makeup, so I probably would if I wore makeup. But they always extend, they extend the eyeline this way to make it more slanted, give it more of an Asian feel, because it's more exotic and it's therefore more beautiful, you know what I'm saying? And it's why do we as minorities feel the need to strive so hard for that European standard of beauty when they're trying so hard to pick and choose little pieces of us to put on themselves to make them more beautiful. And I'm not saying that Halle Berry is not a beautiful woman. She's beautiful, but she's like the whitest looking lady, you know what I'm saying? And that's the most beautiful African American. Oh, she's the most beautiful black woman ever, you know? She looks like a white lady. I mean, she's half white. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I love Halle Berry. And I'm just saying that, you know, she's got more of the European qualities to her face than she does of the African American qualities. And it's like, why should we accept that a woman who's very close to the European standard of beauty should be the most beautiful black woman in America? You know what I'm saying? I think the most beautiful black woman in America is Angela Bassett. That's my opinion. I think she is gorgeous. The thing I can't stand to see the most is a beautiful, just like cute, pretty black chick with some blue contacts in. Sister, you don't have to do that. You're beautiful. Stop it. Just stop. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I really appreciate Tingy JK for his opinions and stuff like that. And, you know, for making videos that make people think, and for making videos that are not just, I mean, because, you know, me, I just make videos when I'm feeling silly. But I appreciate what he's doing. He's talking about actual issues. He's talking about things that he has to deal with on a daily basis that, you know, we all have to deal with on a daily basis. Go check out his videos, Tingy JK. He's really talking about something. Every single race has a stereotype associated with them. And the only way, just like he said, the only way to break this stuff is to talk about it and put it out there and say, okay, this is what I think. What do you think? You know? And so, yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm going to stop talking now because I feel like I've been talking for an hour, even though I've probably only been talking for like 5 minutes.